hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Jo here of SportsGrid. It's time for a Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV, on X, and on YouTube. I hope everyone's having a fantastic start to their Tuesday morning, staying warm out there. I know so many parts of North America dealing with a ton of snow right now. Freezing temperatures out here in YYZ. It is crazy. So you guys be safe out there in the winter conditions, but we had incredible action out there on the ice yesterday. I promised you guys I wanted to get an early look at these lines today for the finale. We have the rematch that we all wanted to see. At least I did. I think a lot of people did want to see the rematch between USA and Canada. Now, we saw that play out on Saturday night with Team USA coming out, getting a 3-1 win. We did see the empty netter in that one, and Jordan Binnington let up, yes, a soft goal out there, but I do think in the rematch, we might have a different outcome. Now, how we got to the rematch, we did see Canada beat Finland in regulation, picking up those 3 points yesterday. It was an awesome performance out of the Canadians in one, which it made us all sweat the final couple of minutes of that game when we saw Finland pull their goaltender. I tell you, it was so intense out there. We saw Finland score and then score again. And I know some of the Team Finland are frustrated. There wasn't an icing call at the end of that game, in which Sidney laid out a huge hit, and I'm drawing a blank on who he hit. Sidney Crosby laying out a hit in the middle of the ice, and then was able to get up, hit the puck into the net, get that empty netter, push us over the totals. We did see it go over, but also make it a 2-goal game again because Finland was so close to tying up that game. It was super stressful. They had a 4-0 lead for so long, 4-1 lead, and then that lead just started to evaporate as Finland pulled the goaltending. So it was an incredible game. Canada got the win, which made the later game not as meaningful for Sweden, but still meaningful in fact. So Sweden was only able to get 2 points. You guys know I was writing the team total over 2.5. And then I was also looking at Finland to get the win. I took Sweden to get the win. I took Sweden as well in the second period on the money line. That got the pushes. We saw no goals, but we saw Sweden come out in that first period. These teams playing for pride. Now, there is concerns about what we saw out of Team USA, concerns about who will be in this game on Thursday. So seeing you guys pop in here, appreciate each and every one of you. So good morning to you. So we're going to jump into what we're looking at for these players, these early lines. Now, we have seen movement, and that's why I wanted to do this show today. We are going to do another show on Thursday before this game at noon Eastern, like always, so that we get updated lines and where we're going to go if there's any movement and what we learn out of these players. Right now, Canada and Team USA, it's a straight minus 110 pick 'em over on FanDuel. We did see Canada a slight underdog as of yesterday. I think Canada's the right side. You look at these teams and you look at what we're seeing out there. It's very hard for them to play at the same caliber and beat the same team twice in a row. Now, Jordan Binnington, did he let in a soft goal? He did. You listen to John Cooper and you listen to what John Cooper says, the head coach here out Team Canada, about Jordan Binnington, and there's been so much talk around him. I really do think he's up for the job here for Team Canada, and John Cooper believes that he is as well. Offensively, Team Canada needs to give him that support out there. In that first game, we saw Team Canada play around with the puck too freaking much. They were making it look pretty out there. They weren't shooting the puck. They weren't fighting to get those rebounds like they did versus Finland and Sweden. They were just playing around out there, not taking enough chances, trying to really grind it out, but not in a way that I want to see. So I do think we're going to try to see Canada get some more open space out there on the ice. They have to get that space away from Team USA because Team USA was all over them in the last one. But you're going to see more shots coming in on Connor Hellebuck. Now, Connor Hellebuck didn't play that last game yesterday. They did go to Jake Ottinger. With Connor Hellebuck having the rest, yes, he's going to have the advantage there. But you look at the pace and the level that Team Canada is playing at. And I do think having a couple days off, but playing in such a competitive game in their last game, it's going to be a benefit to them. Now, you look at Team Canada, this team is looking pretty healthy out there. And that's the concern for Team USA that I have right now. Austin Matthews didn't hit the ice yesterday. Austin Matthews still questionable if he will play on Thursday. Now, Matthew Tkachuk didn't play. He's very vague in his statements on if he is going to play. If you remember watching that game on Saturday. No, yeah, it was Saturday. The last game Matthew Tkachuk played in, because he didn't play in that last game, he looked in pain out there on the bench. So something is going on with Matthew Tkachuk. And then you saw Brady Tkachuk last night. He came out nice and strong. He was laying out those hits, but then his skate blade left under his feet. He went straight into the net, you guys, and he hit the net between his pads in more hip rib area in the lower area. So he came back out on the ice after going back into the locker room, took a really short shift out there. It was under a minute, and then we saw very limited out of him. So concerns on Brady Tkachuk, how his health will be. And then the huge one, we already know, Charlie McAvoy won't be out there on the ice. There is reports that he is in the hospital dealing with an infection based on an upper body injury. So we're not going to see him on the ice either. Now, Cale Makar played in that last game for Canada, and I do think he will be a difference maker for Team Canada. We know one of the top defensemen in the whole league, and I do think he will make a difference here for Team Canada. So with what we know now, you guys, minus 110 here for Team Canada to get the win. And I know a lot of you don't like that. I know a lot of you cheering for Team USA, but I do think it's the right way to go with a side. Now, when we look at this game, we have seen the trends for the Four Nations is that first period has been highly offensive. We have seen those goals come, and then the lockdown. If you remember the last Saturday game, this was the matchup here. We looked at the first period over 1.5, the slowdown in the second, the under 1.5 in the second, and then we didn't play the third. That's exactly how it played out. We had 2 goals in the first, both teams to score in the first. We had the under 1.5 hit in the second. I'm not playing it this way. I'm going to look at this matchup for that first period to be the absolute lockdown. Neither team looking to make a mistake out there. And I know a lot of these teams love to run and gun. They can get that puck on the net and fire away. Canada's best opportunity of winning this game is to get up and then try to protect that lead. We've seen Canada struggle to protect that lead. I'm going to look here. I think we get 1 goal in the first period out of Team Canada, and it stays under 1.5. So I'd look at Team Canada money line first period under 1.5. I'm then going to look at the second period over 1.5 goals. I think the second period is where we start to open up. Now, that third period is going to be a dangerous third period as well, because depending on where the score is sitting with this one, the third period is where we're going to see the fights. I don't think this one starts out with 3 fights in 9 seconds. Again, these guys, Team Canada Team USA pushed Team Canada in that first game. We saw them get under their skins, those fights start, and then things settle down. I think those fights come in the third when one team is playing desperate hockey out there and the emotions really start to show. I think this first period here, we have a more calm defensive battle, but one where the emotions are in check. The third period's where the emotions won't be in check. I actually want to see what we're getting for the second and third period to the overs. So the second period total is sitting at 1.5 minus 150 to the over. I do think it is the way to go at minus 150. Really hard to touch. Again, we're going to retouch on these numbers on Thursday and see where they're sitting. The over 1.5 in the third period is minus 172. The reason behind that is because your opportunities of the empty netter, these guys are going to pull goaltending. Absolutely. With how tight this game is going to be, back and forth battle, I do think this one goes to overtime. Right now, you can get the overtime bet at plus 260. So you guys, I am totally rolling with Team Canada. I'm going to look at the overtime at plus 260. I'm going to look at the under 1.5 in the first period. And yeah, that's a scary situation because I think every single game has stayed over 1.5 in the first period. We've been hitting both teams to score. So the first period total goals over 1.5 is minus 102. I love that bet to the under 1.5 at minus 126. So I'm going to go under minus 126 Canada. Puck line first period laying a half a goal coming in at plus 192. In case this goes scoreless, I would look at the money line in the first period instead of the puck line. Canada on the money line is minus 116. It's interesting because this is a pick 'em game. Canada first period minus 116, USA minus 110. Now, if we look at goal scorers, we know Connor McDavid's opened up the scoring in the last 2 games out there for Team Canada. You can look at Connor McDavid, you know, Sidney Crosby and Nathan MacKinnon. The chemistry between these guys has been electric out there on the ice. So I would be looking there. We also have goalie props out already. I do think the shots on goal are coming hard and fast, and these goaltenders will be put to the test and really have to limit those shots on goal. So when we're looking at Connor Hellebuyck right now, we have a number of 28 plus save shots on goal at minus 114. I would take him for 28 plus save shots on goal at minus 114. The possibility of overtime, the overtime does play into these goalie props. So I do think that is a strong case here for looking at Connor Hellebuyck. I expect Team Canada to put up 34 shots on him, and I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. So that is where I'd look with Connor Hellebuyck. Jordan Binnington, we know everyone keeps talking about how he's the weaker goaltender. It's got to get into his head. He's still a solid goaltender out there, even though he is the weaker between these two. He has a number of 27 plus save shots on goal at plus 100. You could take him to 26 plus save shots at minus 132. I think he gets there as well. You look at Team USA, you look at these players, and you look at their ability to fire that puck on goal. And while the defense of Canada is really going to have to step up, give him that protection in front of the net, you're going to see those shots coming. So when we look at goal scorers right now, Nathan MacKinnon is the favorite at plus 200 for the anytime goal, followed by Austin Matthews at plus 210. Austin Matthews still unknown if he will be hitting the ice. Connor McDavid that scored in the last 2 games coming in at plus 230 for the anytime goal. And I tell you, the mindset of Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby playing for their nation out here, and all of these guys playing for their nation, you guys, they are so proud. They're not thinking about getting back out there on the ice with Edmonton or the Penguins. They are thinking about this game. This game means everything. We've heard so much about this is game 7 here of the finals. In their mind, this is just as important as the Stanley Cup finals right now and playing for their country. So Connor McDavid, I still think he steps up again in this game. Team USA knows they have to contain him. Containing a superstar like Connor McDavid is next level for that defense. So Connor McDavid at plus 230. You've also got to look at Connor McDavid versus Matthew Tkachuk. That rivalry there, because that was your Stanley Cup matchup last year, Edmonton versus Florida. Matthew Tkachuk versus Connor McDavid. If Matthew Tkachuk gets out on the ice, which, you guys, he's played in Stanley Cup finals with broken bones. So he's going to get out there on the ice. So Matthew Tkachuk for the anytime goal at plus 300, I think is such a solid way to go. Now, Brady is listed right now on the books, Brady Tkachuk at plus 320. We know he's going to bring that physicality to Team USA. I would stay off him for goal. I would look at Matthew Tkachuk, even though we've seen Brady be able to sink those goals as well. I think it's Matthew in this one. And then you've got Mark Stone. Mark Stone playing for Team Canada, saying he will do what he has to do to fight for his country. So he is willing to take on Matthew Tkachuk. There's all the talks of them getting into a fight. You guys, if they get into a fight, I think it does come late in this game between Mark Stone and Matthew Tkachuk. Canada's power play is second to none, but Team USA was able to shut that power play down. So that was also a flex move by Team USA to go into the penalty box and then see Canada what they could do in that power play, and they weren't able to get things done. So Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid for Team Canada. That will be where I'm looking. Matthew Tkachuk here for Team USA. Austin Matthews, if he hits the ice, yes. And then Braden Point was able to score a goal last night. So there is a lot of players you can look at. Kyle Connor has been a little bit quieter than I would have expected out there, but it's going to be a good one. Hall, good to see you here too. So it's going to be a great game. Again, it's Tuesday. These lines are going to move. We will come back on Thursday at noon Eastern to give you updated lines. I will have more solid picks out there. Right now, I already know those points, like Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby. Right now, if you parlay them for points coming in at plus 134, I would jump on that right now before we lose the value in that line. We saw yesterday's game for Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby parlayed for the points at minus 130. We're going to see movement in those lines for the points because Connor McDavid right now for a point is minus 194, Sidney Crosby at minus 128. That will change as we go into the game on Thursday. So I do think right now Crosby and McDavid for the point parlay together at plus 134 holds value. They're going to get on the board. But this is going to be a great matchup. I can hardly wait till Thursday. I wish the game was tomorrow. Join me back here tomorrow at noon Eastern for another Pocket with Jo here on SportsGrid TV on X. Do me a solid, you guys. If you can hit that like button, hit that retweet button, and hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. I would so greatly appreciate it. Let's make some freaking money out there today. Now, stay tuned for my Cup of Joe and my Sports Millions Pick'ems. Sports Millions Pick'ems is later today on Game Time Decisions, so make sure you tune in. Always a great show to get those last minute lines and where you're looking to go with your bets. And then my Cup of Joe. I need to refill my coffee, and then it will be out talking some college basketball today, you guys. It's going to be a great day out there. Let's go. Let's make some freaking money. I will see you guys tomorrow.